Today we are creating stick shapes to make stick wreaths with. As you can see, I've created the first one here, and in my brush under stroke path I have the spacing set to 21%. I've got the jitter set to 40. Remember, jitter is how close to the center each stamp is going to be. So we're going to go to 40 on that. And I pasted the shape into the shape source. And I set the scatter to 100%. That's how much it randomly rotates. You can also set the rotation for that sort of behavior, but I prefer using scatter. And I told it to flip the X and the Y. Remember, X is what flips left to right, and Y is what flips up and down, and both of these settings make it do it randomly. Under rendering, I have chosen heavy glaze. And under color dynamics, I've set the saturation to 8% and the darkness to 36%. Saturation is how much of a particular color, red, green, blue, is in your color. Hue is the actual color itself, and darkness is the percentage that your individual stamps are going to be darker as you go. I've got the Apple Pencil set all to zeros, and under Properties, I've turned off Orient to Screen. I've got this preview set for 47%. You just set it for whatever looks good on that particular brush. Maximum size, I've got 820%. And everything else is default. And what that does is it creates a nice little brush that randomly rotates the stick image around. And if you go around several times, making it nice and thick, and then stop and hold, it creates a very nice wreath. So let's go ahead and create another wreath. We'll turn off layer 1, set our color back to white, and for this particular stick, what I would like to do is create one that has thorns on it instead of little branches. We're going to go over here to inking, and I'm choosing ink bleed because I like the way the edge of it looks. And I'm going to start with the small end over here and wiggle it a little bit. And then I'm going to make my fat end. And then I'm going to get more and more narrow towards our small end. And then I'm going to color it in. Now you can use a color drop, but with ink bleed, one of the problems with a color drop, as we slide left to right until we've got it filled in, is it quite often will leave a shadow line on the inside even though you've done a good fill. And you just simply go over it again to get rid of that extra shadow line. Now for the thorns, I'm going to start small and press down as I go. And I want the ones towards the fat end to be larger. And I'm making sure to alternate my thorns. Basically, the next one I put in needs to be in between these two. And then if you want, you can center this. You don't have to, because it's a random brush anyway. We're going to copy this layer. We're going to go back over to our wreath. And let's just start up a new brush here so that we can go over it. Spacing is going to be 21%. Jitter is going to be 40%. Let's pop down to properties and put that 820 in here now so that it's easier to see the settings as we make them. We'll then go up to shape and paste our thorny branch in here. Click done. We're setting the scatter to 100. And we're flipping the X and the Y. We're doing heavy glaze for the rendering. Under color dynamics, once again, saturation, which is how much of the color we're putting in. We're just going to put 8% variance. But for the darkness, we're going to go all the way up to around 40%. Under dynamics, we're going to put a speed variance of 33% and a jitter size. The jitter size is how much variance there is in the size of each stamp, and we're putting that to about 40. Apple Pencil we are turning off so that we don't get any transparencies there. We'll turn the Orient to Screen off under Properties. We've got the maximum size. The preview here is set to 30%. Let's see what that looks like. This is a thicker branch and it's got thorns on it. We may want to turn that preview down slightly. Let's go down to 20. That looks better. And let's test this out. We'll go to the brown, go up a layer, and that's too large. Let's bring it down. There we go. And now we have a wreath of thorns. Let's go ahead and do another brush. We'll flip over to the white and turn off layer 2. And this branch, I'm going to make it a little stubbier. Once again, we're going to go over here to inking, to the ink bleed, and we'll start off at the small end. I don't like that one. Let's try another one. I want a little bit more variance there. Need to round off that thick corner. We'll take care of that now. Don't really want that point there. That's better. And we'll check for shadow lines. We're good to go. And let's put our little stubby branches in. I think I want to do it at the points where it bends. And we'll fill those. So this is a thicker, stubbier brush now. And once again, you don't have to center it because it has random scattering anyway. Let's copy this. And just to save time, I'm going to duplicate the first brush. Let's go into Shape, Edit, Import, Paste. Click Done. And Done. And it's a little difficult to tell what that brush is doing. The preview is a little too large. It is a short, stubby one. So let's bring this down to 20%. Let's see what that looks like. Preview 20, done. That's easier to tell what it's doing. And let's test this. We'll go back to the brown. Make several little circles so as to fill it in. Hold. Tap with the other hand to make it a circle. There we go. And yeah, that makes a good fill in. And now we see the reason that I created 3 separate brushes. We're now going to go over this with the one that has the thorns. And then we'll do it with the first brush that I made, the thinner stick. There we go. Of course, that covers up most of our stubby ones, so we'll just randomly plop those in here. And there we go. We have a nice little stick wreath that we can put Halloween decorations on for Halloween. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you have a wonderful day.